When I first came to Catalyst, it was definitely a struggle for me. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to get sober. I didn't want to deal with authority. I didn't want all these burdens that I felt like were on my back. I kind of wanted to do what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it. And I just felt like, it wasn't my fault, the reason why I was in trouble. I didn't really have too many people in my corner. I had no friends, I didn't have really too many loved ones, to back me up. I was stealing from everybody, I was getting in trouble in and out of jail, on and off probation. It was just a constant cycle, in my life. Deanna is one counselor that I worked with in IOP, which is intensive outpatient treatment. I was in that for about 7 months. She was real supportive with me as far as, she gave me positive feedback, when I was even negative about the whole situation, about what I was in, and she was just always there for me and always gave me good advice, so.
And he came in with the way a lot of clients do, not really trusting or unsure if he wanted to be in treatment. He stated that. I still remember his first group, he said, "I'm really not sure this is what I want to do." And so I just encouraged him to try treatment for a month, and if he didn't feel like he had any changes, then we could talk to see what his options were.
And that's what I did. I ended up growing relationships with people in IOP and, becoming friends with them and noticing, a little bit about what they had. I kind of seen that, they started having fun and they were laughing and they were smiling, and I kind of wanted that. I was so hopeless when I first came in, so, to have that was really important for me in the beginning.
He became active again, enjoyed working out, started working with his dad. So he just did a good job of trying to push himself to do those things he was doing prior to use.
I started telling them things that I wouldn't normally tell, other people, my family members, my mom, my dad, other loved ones. And I started trusting these people, and they started trusting me, so I kind of built a relationship with them. And, like I said, I kind of wanted to have fun. I wanted to be sober doing it, and I seen that they had that, and that's what I wanted.
Everybody's aware, this year was the COVID year, right? It was challenging, and groups have always been one of my favorite things to do. And it's always a challenge when there's big changes in a group. And one of the biggest changes we've ever faced was transitioning to telehealth. So when somebody first comes in, it's like, well, how's this gonna be? As therapists, we were still learning how things were gonna work, and then having clients to try to hopefully working through recovery is always a challenge, but then adding all these new dynamics to it was going to make it 10 times harder. Zach, just from day one, did a phenomenal job processing about his thoughts and his emotions and his, good and bad, about how he was feeling towards recovery, how he was feeling about telehealth specifically. We had a lot of conversations about telehealth. He did a phenomenal job supporting peers when they would be having struggles with telehealth. And yeah, just from day one, Zach's done a phenomenal job.
There was people that were coming in the group that were new, that really didn't know us, and I feel like it was a struggle for them, and it was hard, and they kind of had to get to know us and trust us through a virtual aspect, so I feel like that was kind of the hardest part for me, was trying to trust people that I didn't really had met, in person. So it was a little different, I think it's definitely had some pros and cons to, virtual groups. One being, it definitely, I feel like, works around people's schedules a lot better, which is nice, you get to see a lot more people that, usually didn't show up to group in person through virtual, so that is one thing. You get to also get the comfort from your home, you know what I mean? You get to kind of relax and kick back and just kind of, hang out. So I guess there's some pros and cons to, virtual groups and stuff. So since Catalyst, I've got a new car, I've got my license back, I've got my own apartment. I've got a really good job, and I'm independent. I have self-confidence and self-worth. Those are other things that I look for other than just the materialistic things. So, I'm not saying that it's always, sunshines and rainbows, but, definitely life is better today than it was when I was getting high and drinking.